Well, to shed more light on this and on the tourism sector in Egypt, we had the pleasure to have this phone with Dr. Ramy Samir, tourism expert. Good afternoon, Dr. Samir.
How are you?
How are you, Doctor? Dr. Samir, now the President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi is giving very good care to the tourism sector, and especially giving support to the workers working in the tourism sector in face of the whole world is suffering for 2 years from the pandemic. How do you see the measures taken by the President to support workers in the tourism sector?
It's an important message for sure for the time being. It's very important to encourage the people and to and to give them the encouragement in order to continue with this great work. It's going to be really very special, not only for Egypt but for the whole world. It's a very important project for the civilization of the world, for the international cultural efforts that are done in this field. And it's a huge, gigantic project that is really second to none.
Yes. So how do you see President's efforts in order or interest in the tourism sector during this time?
Normally, it's supposed to be very important, and it's supposed to be very encouraging, and this is what it's supposed to be. But because of the actual current situation of Corona, we hope it's going to work well. And it was a wise decision to postpone the opening of the museum till the end of the pandemic, and this is what's happening now. So many times and inauguration time dates have been set previously, but they were so many times postponed, and it's very understood it should be open when the whole world is capable of absorbing this huge incident, cultural incident in the world. And I expect it's not officially declared for sure till now, but what is officially declared, this will be in the second half of 2022. I'm expecting to be open in the 4th of November of this year, which is would be the occasion of the inauguration of the opening of the discovery of the tomb of Tutankhamun. It will be 100 years, and this is my expectation. It's not officially declared, but it's understood from the surrounding situations that it's going to be such a decision. If not, I recommend it if it's chosen, because it's really very significant for the whole world, for the tourism and for the cultural tourism over the whole world, and especially for Egypt, because it's very important incident. The opening of the discovery of the huge tomb of Tutankhamun.
Yes.
Huge value, not only size, but one of the most smallest tomb in the Valley of the Kings, in fact. But it has a very important value, and it's very important and very big in the eyes of the world because of its value.
Yes, so that's true. The President directed to finish and to finalize the Grand Egyptian Museum to cope with the latest standards and the more developed standards in the whole world, in order to reflect the greatness of the Egyptian civilization. What are the other details concerning the Grand Egyptian Museum?
In fact, it's not just a museum, it's more than a museum. It's a huge cultural project, as you said previously. It's a museum, so many museums inside each other. For instance, there is a child museum inside, a restoration center. There is so many boards and restoration projects, and a bibliothèque, a huge library, and really it's a huge cultural project. Even the shops that are going to be around the area, the parking places and gardens around the area, it's going to be a very huge project. So you can stay 1 week in this museum, and it's near to the King's Airport nowadays, and it's near also the pyramids. So it's a panoramic view from the museum itself. You can really spend a lot of time there, and you can come especially for this museum if you are interested in monuments and history. And there are a lot of people in so many countries in the world that have this feeling, and they have what we call it Egyptomania, which means that they are really fond of Egypt to an extent that is not imaginable.
Yes.
In fact, Egypt deserves that, and the project is huge, and it's going to be a real revolution in the field of the culture field and in the museum work in the whole world. For sure, this is going to be a huge, gigantic project in the whole world, and especially it will be a special privilege for Egypt as well.
Yes. So, Dr. Samir, what would add? How would the Grand Egyptian Museum add to Egypt when it is inaugurated? What would it add to Egypt in the field of tourism in the world? It would change the map of the tourism in Egypt and in the world. What's your comment?
In normal situations, it's a jump. It's a real hop. It's a real unbelievable change. But this is a normal situation. We are not in normal situations because of the COVID, because of the coronavirus, because of the war that is currently occurring now between Russia and Ukraine. And in fact, it's supposed to be very affecting in the normal situations, and we hope it's going to be affecting even in the current situations. But we have to be also a little bit reasonable, because in such situations with the war, with the COVID, we are not expecting a huge, gigantic change, but for sure it will change a lot, and in normal situations it's going to be a real, gigantic change, but I cannot guarantee that because of the current situation.
Yes, also Dr. Samir, the area surrounding the Grand Egyptian Museum is witnessing renovations and preparations in order to make this area or to transform it in one of the most important global destinations. What's your comment?
Yes, it is really an important destination. Egypt, Cairo is going to be a very important destination. I think that after the construction, it's already constructed, after the renovation of this museum, I'm expecting Egypt, or Cairo, let's say in particular, I'm expecting Cairo to be like Luxor. For sure, Luxor is incomparable because of the quantity of monuments it has, but now we have 100,000 pieces in the Grand Egyptian Museum, besides other pieces in the stores, and so it's going to be really a center of culture, and is going to compete with compete Luxor as well, and compete huge cultural centers in Egypt like Minya, like other sites. But Luxor and Egypt and Cairo containing the Egyptian Museum are going to be the main important two centers for cultural tourism in Egypt, I think. And it's very great change, and it's very great project, and I hope it's going to be opening in a smooth way because of missions that are occurring in the world nowadays. I'm going to be, I'm hoping it's going to be opening a wonderful soft opening, and I'm sure in normal situations it will change the world.
Yes, Dr. Samir, this Grand Egyptian Museum, we all know that it's going to encompass very precious pieces. Could you give us an idea concerning the pieces that is going to be displayed in this Grand Egyptian Museum, and especially the belongings or the pieces of King Tutankhamun?
Yes, as you said, especially Tutankhamun. We have more than 5,000 pieces from the collection of Tutankhamun. Even some pieces that are never ever displayed before are going to be displayed, are going to be shown in this museum. And it's going to be really second to none, because the whole world will be astonished, it will be fascinating for the whole world, the new pieces that are going to be shown in this museum that are never seen before. And even in the international expositions in the whole world, some pieces are very unique and masterpieces that are going to be opened for the first time, like this new discovery in such case. And at the same time, for sure, the normal traditional pieces that we have in the Egyptian Museum, most of the Egyptian Museum now is transported to the new Grand Egyptian Museum, and it's going to be The 3 floors of this museum are going to be unbelievable, and as we said before, you can stay 1 week at least. Let's say for normal tourists, you can stay 1 week, but if you are specialized in Egyptian antiquities and archaeology, and you can spend a whole year studying and contemplating in these wonderful treasures that are really second to none and that are really fascinating the whole world, and the whole world is coming to Egypt because of them, and will be coming in Egypt because of the Egyptian Grand Museum in particular, as far as I think.
Yes, I thank you very much for your valuable information. Dr. Ramy Samir, tourism expert, thank you very much for joining us over the phone. Well, ladies and gentlemen, a short break and I'm going to be back with you.